Welcome back, everybody. Less than a week after Republican Congressman Mike Kelly called for an IRS audit of Planned Parenthood, the White House responded by saying it hasn't seen anything to suggest an audit is necessary. I can only guess the congressman was not thrilled. Let's find out. Congressman Kelly joins us right now. Congressman, when the White House shot that back at you and said, "Don't worry about it, Congressman, we got it, everything's," I can only imagine the steam that must have been coming out of your ears.
Well, pretty consistent with this White House, and they're willing to have audits of the conservative and the church groups and get into the content even of their prayers, and then they look at Planned Parenthood. It's like, oh, move on, folks, nothing to see here. I would just say this, Ed. You can't watch those videos. It's been out now for a month. We're into the fourth video, and you're looking at that, and you're thinking, my God, if somebody's not looking at this and looking at illegal and criminal activity taking place, the negotiation for the sale of parts of babies, and think to yourself, there's not something wrong here. Well, these are people that have the 501c3 tax-exempt status. Now, people say, what does that mean? It means they don't pay any taxes, folks. They pay no taxes. Now, they take hard-earned American taxpayer money. That's how we fund Planned Parenthood to a degree. And to hold them unaccountable is absolutely unconscionable, but very consistent with a White House that picks and chooses things that they think need to be looked at.
But let's look at it from the other side here, and I want you to comment on this because Planned Parenthood is firing right back and saying, wait a minute, this was just a couple of people. They were speaking off the cuff. That's not how we do business. And they will also fire back and say everything we do is within the letter of the law. Matter of fact, we've had some attorneys tell us the same thing. So then how do you take what they're claiming is the letter of the law versus what we're seeing and how we're interpreting this and make some sense of it all for the common man?
Well, then I would say to them, quite frankly, then you should be asking for an audit yourselves to prove that you're not doing anything wrong and telling us there's no reason to even look. Listen, if you're clean, if you're truly innocent, then say, you know what? We want people to look into it. We want people to see who we are. After all, this is part of what the administration would call the most clear and transparent administration that ever be. If I'm sitting at Planned Parenthood right now and I know this information is out there and I've watched these videos and I can see what's taking place, so you say, you know what? I'm going to disprove that. How are you going to disprove it? Just by making a statement? No. Come in and audit us, and you tell me after you've looked that we're doing something that's not right. It is truly stunning that they would sit back and say, listen, this is crazy. Now look at who they're asking to answer for them. I'm telling them, do this. If you're truly innocent, if you're truly clean, welcome the audit. Open your doors. There's nothing like sunshine to clear things up.
Okay, then here's the other side of this. The president of Planned Parenthood, Cecile Richards, an editorial in the Washington Post where she answered all this, calling those behind the recent undercover videos extremists who are misleading the American people, also adding that Congress shouldn't allow politics to get in the way of life-saving care. I think that's what a lot of people are still looking at here, Congressman. They're looking at who they might think is a little shady doing this and what their purpose is behind it. And I guess the other side of that is, all right, if you defund Planned Parenthood, then what are you going to do after that?
Well, there's a lot of other women's care, health care agencies that are out there that I'm sure are willing to take up any part of Planned Parenthood that would be defunded. We're talking about, in a very extreme cases, the harvesting and mining of parts of babies for resale. Now, it is illegal to sell fetal tissue or fetal organs. It's illegal, okay? That's breaking the law. That's a criminal offense. If you're not guilty, then say, please, come and take a look. You're accusing me of something. I'm asking for my day in court. Let's get it out in the open. Let's talk about it. Let's have people come in, independent people come in and look at it. The IRS is responsible for looking into these 501c3, these tax-exempt organizations, and holding them accountable for a very carefully constructed program. Not everybody's tax-exempt. Not everybody gets to the point where they don't have to pay taxes, Ed. And if that's the case, if you're being given this status and this privilege, then you need to be very open and transparent. Tell them, they don't know they're calling us things that aren't true is very bad. But First Amendment rights are very much at risk here.
All right, I got about a minute left, and I want to spin also to the Coal Country Protection Act, H.R. 2637, that you are behind on this. We only have 1 minute left. Why is it so important that this, in your opinion, go through?
Well, in an economic recovery, one of the most important assets we have is energy, and very affordable, abundant, and accessible energy. Coal being the producer of 40% of our electrical energy out there. Why would you force these mines to shut down, cancel people's jobs, cancel out whole communities? This is something that just doesn't make sense. And here's our piece. And if it affects our economic recovery, if it affects the loss of jobs, if it causes the cost of electricity, the rates to go up, And then finally, if it interferes with the reliable delivery of electric power, then don't do it. And there's overseers in place that can do that. It's a very simple fix. It's a very simple request, and it's something that the people need to demand.
I got about 15 seconds left. Our viewers watching right now, how can they get involved in this?
Well, you know what? Call whoever it is that's your representative to say, listen, get on this bill, get behind this bill, and demand that this administration answer questions that are out there. I am so fed up with him saying, listen, nothing here to see. It's absolutely appalling what they've been able to get away with, and I wouldn't care who's sitting in the White House, Democrat or Republican. I serve the people of Pennsylvania's 3rd District. I don't know how they're all registered, but I know I have a responsibility to them.
Congressman, every time we get together, it's always the Obama administration, and they're hiding something. They seem to do it every day, and that always brings us together. But boy, they are sure in both of these cases. We'll pass them on. Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, and I appreciate it. God bless you.
All right, take care. Newsmax Now continues.